Hello again. I'm going to continue with the discussion of behaviorism. Well, actually, in my previous audio, in fact, my previous video, I talked about behaviorism, and now I'm gonna continue with behaviorism like this. Let me take my seat over here in order for you to have a good picture of, in fact, as my surrounding on my face. Anyway, actually, we talked about the behaviorism, and we said that Chomsky attacked behaviorism. And we actually read parts of, in fact, page 51, especially paragraphs 1 and 2 and 3. And now I'm going to continue with the new paragraph. Let us see. So the next paragraph, actually paragraph 4 of page 51, begins with something like this. Nor is a stimulus usually as simple as and unambiguous as milk deprivation. So the stimulus is not as easy as like the wanting something to drink like milk. Okay? It's not like wanting something to drink like milk, okay? Or a volcano erupting fire and lava. Lava is something that comes out of the volcano, okay? Chomsky imagines the response of a person look at the painting. A very good example is given here by Chomsky. Suppose you have given the opportunity to have a look at a painting. Suppose there is an art gallery, and you and your husband, you and your wife, you and your friend are actually walking to see the different paintings in this gallery. Okay? Now there are nice paintings by, in fact, important figures. Okay? By important artists. Okay? So there is one stimulus. Let us say one picture like this on this piece of paper. You just look. You say something. Somebody else comes to say something else. Still, a third person comes to say something else. Still, a fourth person comes to say exactly something different from these three guys. Wow. There is one stimulus, the painting. How come there are different responses here? How come there are different responses here? The Chomsky, the behaviorist approach says that when there is something like milk deprivation, there is only one single answer. Drinking milk. But Chomsky says, no, it's not that easy. Sometimes there is one stimulus, many responses. Let us look. Chomsky imagines the response of a person looking at the painting. They might say different kinds of things. They might say, Dutch. It belongs to the country Dutch. Okay, D-U-T-E-C-H. Somebody could come to say, well, this is Dutch, okay? The Netherlands, Dutch, D-U-T-C-H. It is from this country, not Iraq, not Iran, Dutch. Somebody else sees exactly the same picture and says something else. Clashes with wallpaper, Wallpaper is something like here, okay? It is, I've got something like the wall behind me. This is the wall. And on it, we have paper. Okay, sometimes we have paper on the wall. We call it wallpaper. Okay. So when you look at the paintings, you see this kind of clashes with the wallpaper. Okay. There's a quarrel. معركة between the wallpaper, and the painting. And the painting wants to, in fact, quarrel, معركة, have a معركة with the wall. Okay? So maybe somebody comes to say it's like clashes with the wallpaper. Or still somebody else will say, I thought you liked this kind of art. I thought you like abstract art. Maybe it's kind of abstract art. And your friend comes to say, well, look at this. I thought you liked abstract art. This is the third answer. Or you come to say, or your friend comes to say, never saw it before. Or somebody comes to say it is tilted. My picture now is tilted. Okay? My picture is tilted. No, not tilted. Now tilted. Okay? It is tilted. The picture on the wall is tilted. Or somebody could come to say it is hanging too low. Somebody could come to say it's beautiful. Somebody comes to say it is hideous. Or a husband and a wife could come to say something like this. Remember our camping trip last summer? They had a camping trip last summer, okay? So they remember it. When they look at the picture, they remember the camping trip that they had last summer. So there is only one stimulus. Several answers. How come? Mr. Bloomfield, Mr. B.F. Skinner, especially B.F. Skinner, says that the language, like milk deprivation, like let's say dull example, are stimulus bound. If you say there is stimulus bound, how come there is one stimulus and so many different responses by human beings? What does it mean? It means that there is something inside. It is not a kind of behavior. It's a kind of, in fact, knowledge inside which enables us to talk. Okay? So it is like this. Line 4, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Line 5 of page 51 of the last paragraph. The last paragraph, maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines to the bottom of the page, or paragraph 4, line 5. No difference. So it says, one stimulus apparently could have many responses with language. There can be no certain prediction from the stimulus. Okay? There is no prediction from the stimulus to response. When you see something like an abstract art, you can have your own understanding or your own answers for these things. Okay? I'm still on page 51. I've not gone to page 52 yet. Okay? So it's like this. There can be no certain prediction from the stimulus to response. Well, actually, if you go to page 52, there's again a kind of continuation. In other words, line 1. Human language is, as the book says, page 52, line 1 after example 53. In other words, human language is unpredictable from the stimulus. The important thing about language is that it is stimulus free. It is stimulus free. It is not stimulus bound. Okay, as actually the two guys, especially the second guy, B.F. Skinner, came to say on page 50 and 51, 51, excuse me. Both of them had their ideas on page 51, as you see there. Okay, this is the whole thing. So Chomsky rejects the idea of language as being something outside, as behaviorists come to say. Chomsky says language is stimulus free. Sometimes there is one situation with so many different responses in humans when it comes to language. You see, there are 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of answers by one stimulus. Okay? So it is unpredictable. So, like many other areas of language. So, I don't want to continue with this discussion here anymore. So, this is the end of page 52 before the exercise begins. Okay? That's it. And about the next discussion on page 52 and 53, I'm not going to talk about the language acquisition device and the levels of adequacy, which begins on page 52, 4 lines to the bottom, and page 53. Well, I actually give you an understanding of language acquisition model on my, in fact, next presentation about this. So maybe I'm going to have a short review of the first parts of page 52 and 53 in my next presentation. But I'm not going to continue to go to page 54 and 55. Okay? So wait for page 52 and 53 in my next presentation just now.